Are you thinking about moving to Florida, but you're not really sure because things in Florida have changed and it's not like it used to be? Well, stick around because I'm going to be talking about 5 different things that are not so great about moving to Florida. So stick around. What's up everybody, it's April Laura, your Florida realtor, right here in Lake Worth actually today. And I'm talking about a few things that you need to know if you are thinking about moving to Florida or you're planning a possible relocation. Many people are moving to Florida, but is it all that it's cracked up to be? Well, I'm a Florida native, I'm a real estate agent, I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in Florida. My team and I specialize in relocation, and I would love to speak with you to answer any of your questions or point you in the right direction. And if this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is about working, eating, sleeping, playing, and living and moving to Florida, then make sure you give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, somehow get in touch with me because my team and I are specializing in helping people buy and sell, and we'd love to talk to you about it. All my information is down in the description box, and you can also just book a call with me on my calendar link that's linked in the description box as well. So I'm sitting at a beautiful listing that I have in Lake Worth Beach. It's actually on the Intracoastal Waterway. I will show you a little bit of footage in a minute, but I'm not showing you this house. It's actually just a beautiful backdrop. It's a gorgeous day. The water in the Intracoastal is right on the other side of this camera, so I have a nice sea breeze. And I wanted to stop and just give you a little information on 5 things that aren't that great about moving to Florida or living in Florida. And I might even give you a bonus one at the end, and it may be a bonus that you find helpful, or maybe that's exactly what you're looking for, so stick around. So the first negative I would say is that a lot of people do call me and they're like, April, I want to be walkable. Walkable to downtown, walkable to the beach, you know, where would you suggest? Well, typically Florida has not been known, or at least Palm Beach County, let's talk about Palm Beach County, on the east side, the southeast side of Florida. There aren't that many walkable towns or cities. We do have some. And the most popular one I would say right now is Delray Beach. Delray Beach is a great city. It's walkable, but it's very pricey. So not everybody can live downtown, and downtown also means if you can walk to downtown, you can walk to the beach because it's about a mile or less depending on where you live. So I am lucky enough to be able to help a lot of buyers in that area, but there are a lot of buyers that get priced out. And we will talk about pricing and home values in a minute. Delray Beach has a lot to offer. It's got great restaurants, shopping, lots of fun up and down Atlantic Avenue. They call it the Ave. And also that beautiful public beach that runs right down the avenue into the ocean. Now, another city that you may want to consider if you want to be walkable is West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach is more of like a true small city with lots of high rises, a downtown area, and it has Clematis Street, which is the main drag. It has Rosemary Square it's an outdoor mall. So it has a lot to offer. It also runs right into Flagler Drive, which is a street that runs along the Intracoastal Waterway, and it's right over the bridge from Palm Beach. So that's a walkable city, but again, can everybody have access to it? It depends on your price point. If you're a young family and you need a big home, you need great schools, and you need a decent price point, you're not over $1 million or over $1.5 million, then it may not be the right place for you. So you may not get that walkability. Having the walkability is great, it just is not that accessible to everybody in South Florida. Boca Raton is another beautiful area and very popular city, although Boca Raton, again, downtown is east, just like all the other downtowns. It is high in price point. You have Meisner Park, which is the downtown area, and then you have all the areas downtown east of Federal, which is like Royal Palm Plaza, that has, again, great shopping, great restaurants, a lot to offer, entertainment. Price points are going to be high. So again, if you're a family, you need a single family home, you're not up into the over $1 million range, you're not going to be able to get that. Can you get something that's 10, maybe 15 minutes away? Absolutely, but not downtown walkable. So without all that being said, and those are very popular cities that people usually know about, I do want to touch on Lake Worth, only because there are not very many areas in South Florida that are up and coming where you can get kind of a deal. And I do believe that Lake Worth is probably the last city in Palm Beach County where you can kind of find a little bit of a deal still. Now, it has already been developed. I mean, a lot of investors have already invested here, but because I have this listing, and this is a high price listing, what I've seen personally is that I know who's buying in Lake Worth Beach East. And that's really the background of why I wanted to give you this information, is because there's a lot of money coming into Lake Worth Beach, and I know it because I get the calls every single day because of this listing. And these people are specifically looking for waterfront homes on the Intracoastal in Lake Worth. Why? Because Lake Worth is the least expensive real estate you can buy on the water in Palm Beach County right now. What does that mean? Well, that means that it's already being developed and it has been growing in the last several years, but this is really going to push it even further. Another landmark here that is going to be restored will also jumpstart the growth in Lake Worth Beach, and that is the Gulfstream Hotel. The Gulfstream Hotel is just south on the west side of the Lake Worth Bridge. It's a historic hotel, and there were a couple of developers that kind of owned it and then got into a fight about it, had litigation, one of them won, and is supposed to be developing it. Now, I don't know what the holdup is. I've asked several of my sources and nobody seems to know why it hasn't started the restoration and renovation of that hotel, but everyone agrees that is absolutely local here, that is going to jumpstart the growth in Lake Worth. Lake Worth does not really have any hotels per se. It's also another great area to invest for Airbnbs, which I've helped several of my clients do that. The city of Lake Worth, from what I understand from my owners, does not require an Airbnb or a vacation seasonal rental license, just the county. So there are several factors that help you to do well in the Lake Worth area. There's lots of little cottages, great little properties, and it's walkable and bikeable to the beach, the local beach, which is great. So I have done another video on Lake Worth, and I'll link that right over here or over here. Check it out, but I just think that the potential is there for Lake Worth. Lake Worth is probably not as bad as Delray was 25 years ago. And no one expected Delray to be what it is right now, and maybe no one's really expecting Lake Worth to be what it will be in 10 to 20 years. So keep your eyes out and let me know if you have any questions on the Lake Worth area. So getting back to the negatives, the next negative is mass transit, or how are you going to get around if you don't have a car? If you don't have a car, quite frankly, I don't think you can really live comfortably in Florida. Florida's a very long state. It takes time to get to the places you need to go to in Florida. Therefore, you need a car. Most everybody I know, and I'm a Floridian, I was born and raised in South Florida, has always had a car. Like, you have to have a car. When you're a teenager, you get a car, and you just have to be able to drive places. If you don't have a car, we have public transportation. We have buses, we have the Tri-Rail system, we have the Bright Line, and you can use those. But quite frankly, I've been to a lot of big cities that have really great mass, transit systems, and we just don't have that here. It's just not that good. It's not our main form of transportation. So I have heard stories about the buses schedule, the Tri-Rail schedule kind of not being on time, not being super efficient. So it's really hard to rely on these type of systems if you have to get somewhere in time, especially when you have to go to work and things like that. So that is definitely a negative, because you got to be able to get around. So if you don't have a car, I actually just got off the phone with a couple buyers that are moving here. They don't have a car. They do plan on getting a car, but they don't have a car right now because where they live, they don't need one. Again, it ties along with the walkability. They're in a walkable town. They wanted a walkable town. They would prefer not to have a car if they didn't have to get one. But when I went over pricing and I showed them what was available within a walkable distance of where they wanted to be, it was out of their price point. So that is definitely a negative. You have to have a car for the most part if you live in Florida. Number 3 is going to be home insurance. So homeowners insurance is something that you have to have, especially if you have a mortgage, and you want to have even if you buy your house cash. It's going to protect its insurance. You got to have insurance on pretty much everything these days. There are a lot of homeowners insurance companies that have left Florida because there have been a lot of claims. There have been claims everywhere in lots of different states for lots of different reasons, from tornadoes to fires to hurricanes to floods. And these things are happening everywhere in the country, not even in places that we expect them to happen, but in places that we don't expect them to happen. So the home insurance companies have taken a really hard hit in the last several years, and claims have gone through the roof. They're bleeding money. A lot of them have left. So the home insurance qualifications and credits and things like that that they use to determine how much your homeowner's insurance is going to be when you purchase a new home has changed. You cannot expect it to be the same as the current homeowner, because that current homeowner is under whatever policy that may or may not have changed since they bought the house. A lot of times it has changed because of all the changes that have been coming down the pike with the homeowners insurance companies. So you really have to get quotes. Once you find a property that you like, you need to get that done. I'm encouraging my buyers to get it done earlier than usual because it might be an extra couple or a few $100s more a month depending on what your credits are. Is your roof brand new? If it's old, how old is it? How does that factor into the monthly payment or the quote? And also your windows, your doors, any opening for storm protection. They're looking at a lot of these things. That's what they do, and they're trying to protect themselves against claims that they don't have to cover. So I have been reading about how the homeowners insurance is going to be raising for several years now, and sure enough, it's been going up pretty much every year. So that is a negative, but a lot of my buyers still feel that the advantages of living in Florida with no state income tax and things like that, if you're coming from a state that has those types of taxes, you're still going to be saving living in Florida. So that's kind of how they offset it. But it's something you have to be aware of. If you want to have a longer conversation with me about it, I'll be happy to do that. But you just need to be educated as a buyer as far as those costs, and it might be something that you didn't expect. Speaking of costs, well, Florida used to be a pretty affordable place to live. Not so much anymore. The housing costs have gone up so dramatically, it's really pricing a lot of people out of the market. I have been working with a lot of buyers, and although I'm putting them into contract, it's definitely more challenging than it ever has been because the stuff that we're seeing, I mean, honestly, yesterday I was seeing many houses between $700,000 and $800,000 with a couple of buyers in the Wellington and Westlake Worth kind of area, and they were very disheartened because that's a pretty good price tag, an $800,000 house, $700,000 house. And these homes were older, they needed maintenance, they needed cleaning up, they needed new flooring, they needed new bathrooms. There was a lot more to put into that house to make it as new as my buyers wanted it than they expected. And it's really sad for me to be able to go out and show these great qualified buyers homes that are just quite frankly disappointing. So we have more appointments this afternoon and for the next 2 days. So I am hopeful that I will be able to find them something. And you know, I did let them know that that's not everything. We only saw a handful of homes yesterday, and we are going to be seeing some new construction developments, but the new construction developments are really long. They're a long wait. So their build times right now, depending on where you're looking, it could be a year to 18 months or more. So that's a really long time. They're going to have to figure out, you know, rentals or, you know, some kind of other housing until they can get into a new home, if that's the route that they choose to go. But it's challenging. So the cost of living here is no longer less expensive like it used to be. It's getting hot, it's getting expensive. No, it's not getting expensive, it's expensive. Houses are very expensive. I know a lot of people also want to come here and have new construction, but the challenges with that, with the builders, the build times, the cost, everything. I've seen lots, especially the lots that are in new construction, just regular old lots or lots with what they call a water view, but it's really kind of just like a canal, are $80,000, $100,000 extra. So it really adds on to the cost of the house. So this is definitely a negative for a lot of people. It's pricing a lot of people, especially new home buyers. It is pricing them out of the market, and it's really sad. There are other options. That's why recently I did do a video on townhomes. It's better to own something than not to own it all. You definitely want to own something instead of rent. So you really need to maybe shift your mind if you're a brand new home buyer and your budget is not that great, like the $700,000-$800,000 buyer or up, then you know we just have to be a little more creative and find something that will suit you. Maybe if it's even for 2-3 years, and then you can possibly rent it out or sell it and then move up, because that's really how you have to work it. Speaking of rentals, rentals are in great demand. It's just as challenging right now to have a rental or to find a good rental property for a decent price. Everything is very expensive, and there's a shortage on that also. So there are many companies, large conglomerates, that are buying up thousands and thousands of homes, and they are doing it because they know that people are not going to be able to afford homes like they used to. And there are a lot of investors buying homes for the same reason, because they want to be able to have rental properties, rent them out, make some return on their investment, and that is adding to the shortage of inventory that we have right now. So we have a shortage of inventory. We have, I think, at least 30% less homes than we normally would to put people into. People have to live, they need to be able to buy homes, and there's such a shortage. Right now, I checked this morning, and there was a 1 month, and it's probably less than a month, but it's a 1 month supply of homes right now, which is ridiculous. It's been like that. It's been like a month and a half, 2 months for the last several months, but it's not getting any better. And there are more buyers right now. Come 2022, there have been so many buyers flooding the market, and yes, we're getting listings, but all the good listings are going very quickly with multiple offers. It's just a very challenging market. So you need to know what you're getting into. You really need to have all your ducks in a row. When I have my Zoom calls with my buyers or in-person consultations with my buyers, you have to have everything ready. You have to have your pre-approval, you have to have your proof of funds. You need to understand what the challenges are in this market. You need to have a creative plan, several different creative plans depending on what the situation is. I never suggest waiving an inspection. I don't like best and final offers. I have some creative ways to get around that as well and try and protect my buyers, because that is my goal, is to protect you as my clients. So having a seasoned real estate agent and a team that knows what they're doing is very important. So definitely reach out to me. Let me know if you'd like to chat some more. And if you're finding this information helpful, please hit that like button and share this information maybe with somebody that you know that is thinking about moving to Florida. Now, my last negative is going to be crowdedness and traffic. It is winter time in South Florida, which means everybody's here. Why? Well, look around you. It is the beautiful, gorgeous weather and the beautiful days that we have here. And I happen to be in a very gorgeous environment today, and everybody wants to enjoy it. And you know what? I want everybody to enjoy it. But it makes it difficult for other people that are working here, living here, to deal with all of that. I was just yesterday when I was showing my buyers, I had to go way far west, and it took me longer than normal because you have a lot of stoplights, you got a lot of people just kind of on vacation, they're not in a hurry, and they're, you know, kind of lollygagging around, probably something I would do if I was on vacation also. So I'm not hating on them, but it definitely makes it more challenging when you're working and you're trying to get to places and you've got, you know, things to do. There are a lot of crazy drivers out there because there's a lot of people here from other states, so they don't know where they're going and they're looking around and they're not driving that great. Everybody's on slow mode and I'm, you know, a little bit faster than slow mode, so it's challenging. Also, restaurants, I actually, last week I worked 2 straight full days, like just in my office, and I just needed to go and grab a bite with a friend out to dinner. Nothing fancy, just something, a quick dinner. I had to go to 3 different restaurants to be able to find a place where I could, you know, we could sit and eat. So everything was crowded. You know, come 7, 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, it's crowded. So those are challenges. There's a lot of people everywhere. I guess, you know, I can't complain too much because it definitely feeds my industry, but it's challenging. You should know about it. And, you know, although we need to have a car to drive around, that's challenging. And going out to places, restaurants, shopping, all of it, we're very crowded. Come May, April, May, it'll start to dwindle down and then it'll be warm again and we'll have our cities back to ourselves. Now, the bonus negative, and I don't think anybody's gonna take it as a negative probably except for me, but we've had such a warm winter. I can't stand it. Today is really nice, so if every day was like this, I'd be so happy. It could even be cooler than today. But this morning it was probably like in the mid to high 60s, and right now it's probably like 75, which is beautiful and it's perfect. But that was only like 2 days, yesterday and today. Tomorrow it's gonna get hot again. It's been like 85 degrees during the day. That's hot. If you are in the sun, if you know, are in and out of your car, the car really heats up, you get in, it's hot. I just feel like it's summertime almost, and I'm sick of it because I love living in Florida, but it's so nice in the wintertime where you can like unwind and enjoy a little bit of coolness. And I just find that this season we have had a lot of warm days, and I'm still waiting. When is the cool weather gonna come and kind of stay? And it just hasn't happened yet, and it's already March. So I would say that is another negative, but I know most of you that are shoveling snow and, you know, dealing with freezing ice and all kinds of stuff are gonna say, hey April, that's not a negative. So I get it, and maybe I'm just spoiled because I live here full time. But in order to find that perfect place that you may be thinking of or you want to go see, or maybe you have some questions about an area, then make sure you give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, somehow get in touch with me, because I've got your back when you're moving to South Florida. And until next video, I'll catch you later.